You're watching CoinGeek.com with me, Stephanie Tower. We're here in Malta with Jonathan Galea. He is the Managing Director of Blockchain Advisory. Let's talk about decentralized finance.
Yes.
Okay, so there's such a lot of comments and talks about this, but can you please clarify what this is and how this is different from FinTech?
Of course. I would say that decentralized finance and FinTech are two of the current buzzwords, let's call them that. And ultimately, FinTech, I would say, is the more general term. FinTech encapsulates all those technologies which I would say are set to disrupt financial services in general. But specifically, decentralized finance, or DeFi in short, is all about conventional financial tools which are built using blockchain technology. So specifically in DeFi, we're dealing with blockchain.
What are the challenges that comes with this sector? So, and how do you think this could be overcome?
Ultimately, DeFi sets to disrupt with the industry, but also specifically certain regulatory practices. Now, when you try, of course, to disrupt long-held practices and traditions, then ultimately that in itself is a challenge. And ultimately, through DeFi, we're also experiencing new financial instruments being created, and ultimately that leaves them in a bit of a regulatory limbo. So what happens in that case? When there's something which is typically regulated in a particular manner, and it's not catered for in the regulation anymore, should it exist outside of the regulatory framework, or should it, let's say, be incorporated into the current legal framework through extension? Or their adoption would be, should we create new regulation altogether in order to ensure that it's regulated? So currently, I think this is one of the main issues being faced by DeFi, and the issues being faced differently across multiple jurisdictions. Some jurisdictions might have more or less tech-neutral legislation, which would cater for certain developments in DeFi, whereas other jurisdictions might not have catered for it at all, and therefore it happens in that case.
So how long do you think it will take for a certain jurisdiction to actually address these challenges and create a regulatory framework that would work for the industry?
Tough to say, really. I mean, ultimately, I would say it would be on a jurisdiction by jurisdiction basis. However, having said that, for example, Malta is well known for moving very fast in the regulatory space. And ultimately, for example, the Malta Financial Services Authority is going to launch a regulatory sandbox next year. And one of the aims of the sandbox is precisely to cater for these DeFi projects and ultimately provide them a safe place where to do business in a monitored environment, and later on be able to perhaps even come up with new pieces of legislation to cater for such new kinds of business activities.
I'd like to go back to what you said earlier, that this is an opportunity to create projects and business ideas. So what are the current, or what are existing right now in that sector?
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of projects emerging when it comes to open finance, or rather open lending protocols. So again, peer-to-peer micro-lending is a trend which is gaining more strength as time goes by. There's also, and I'm keeping a very keen eye on the development of stablecoins. Now, stablecoins as we know them nowadays, they're mostly collateralized stablecoins. However, we might see the emergence of non-collateralized stablecoins, or rather algorithmic stablecoins. And algorithmic stablecoins, I think, would be a staple part of DeFi, because of course, right now, one of the main issues being faced by stablecoins is they're all centralized. Now, how do you make stablecoins decentralized? Well, you have to remove the so-called backing element, whereby you need to back the token with a real-world asset. What if there's no need to back it? What if there's some kind of, let's say, way to stabilize it using technology? And if someone manages to come up with a decentralized concept of a stablecoin, well, that would be a very big thing, I would say.
Well, it's very exciting as well.
Yes,
So
definitely.